Amazon is raising its minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Amazon is raising the minimum wage. It's $15 an hour.
Well, big news today. Amazon raising its minimum wage to $15 an hour.
What's that? Amazon just what? $15 an hour. $15 an hour. $15 an hour? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that's literally the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. $15 a fucking hour? Hey, Amazon, do you want a cookie? What an absolute joke. The news ranting and raving about $15 an hour, like that's actually going to help your life in the big scheme of things. Meanwhile, the CEO, Jeff Bezos, is walking around with 160 fucking billion in the bank. And it's not just Amazon, but that goes for any 9-to-5 job. Those poor workers are getting played like an Xbox. And so are you, if you're currently stuck at a 9-to-5 hellhole. Now, I don't mean to be condescending and belittle you, but the reason I'm acting so crazy is I want you to get pissed off. I want you to be mad. Why so? There is a known little quote from the movie The Terminator 3 with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he picks up a depressed and hopeless John Connor, who he was sent back to Earth from the future to protect. Out of nowhere, he picks him up by the neck for about 5 seconds and then just tosses him to the ground like a bag of trash. And then John goes, "What the hell did you do that for?" And the Terminator replies, "Anger is more valuable than despair." So basically, the Terminator pissed him off on purpose for motivational purposes. And that is exactly what I wanted to do to you today. $15 a fucking hour? You're worth $100, $200, $500 an hour. And I'm going to show you exactly how to achieve that today. So please, sit back, shut down Facebook, close out Instagram, and prepare to watch this video to the very end. Because what I'm about to tell you today will literally change your life forever. No, you won't make a 160 billion net worth like Mr. Bezos. Not even close. That bastard got lucky with a 300K investment from his parents. Do your parents have 300K lying around to toss you? Probably not. And on top of that, the only reason he's making so much is, duh, he's being cheap and paying all his workers a minimum of $15 measly an hour, while he probably has $1 million falling out of his fucking shoe. So, while I can't help you make billions, I am going to show you how to make 6 figures working from the beach or anywhere else in the world you want, right here, right now. So just give me your undivided attention for the next few minutes, and you won't be the same person you were before you clicked play on this video. I literally guarantee it. But before I show you how to make 6 figures a year by working just 1 day a week from your laptop, let me tell you a little about who the hell I am. And my name is Adrian Grushka, but for short you can simply call me Adrian G. And over the past 5 years, I've worked nothing but 1 day a week. That's 1, count them, 1. And with all of the knowledge I've gained over this period of time, I've had the privilege of teaching thousands of others my tricks of the trade and how to completely master the art of being their very own boss quickly and easily. But before I became successful making 6 figures a year by working just 1 day a week, I worked a 9-to-5 just like you and you and you and you. But after going through years and years of what I politely define as hell, one day something just clicked, I snapped and finally had enough. I was able to come up with the secret path to success. The keys to the kingdom, if you will, that would get me out of the rat race forever. So now let me tell you the quick story of how I changed my life forever and how I'm going to help you do the exact same. It all started back on June 12th, 2013. Yes, I remember the exact date when I was hired to my second call center job. While I despised the first company I worked for, this one was even worse. Imagine walking into work, sitting in your chair, and having 70 customers per day yelling and screaming at you because their phone bill is screwed up. What are all of these fees? I didn't go over my data, but you're going to pay for this, you bastard. Yes, me. I'm going to pay because their phone bill is screwed up. You see, I often got the direct blame from the disgruntled customer, not the phone company I'm working for. So it's easy for my supervisor to say, the customer is always right, and expect me to wear a big, goofy smile all day. But as a human being, not a robot, it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. And on top of that, my boss himself, Gary, or as I like to call him, Mr. Potato Head, had to be the biggest asshole walking the face of the earth. I called him Mr. Potato Head because he was fat, bald with hair on the sides, had a big goofy moustache, glasses, and always wore a red tie. So basically Mr. Potato Head in the flesh. His style of management went something like this. If he woke up on the right side of the bed, he was a decent human being and okay to deal with. If he woke up on the left side of the bed, he was Satan reincarnated and would do anything in his power to make my life a living hell. Now I'm guessing he had a volcano pit or shark-infested water on the right side of his bed because seeing as he was a total ass, say 98% of the time, he sure as hell loved waking up on his left. So between Satan, Mr. Potato Head, Gary, the 70 calls coming back to back of irate customers all day, driving an hour to work in rush hour traffic, all the while making just enough to pay my bills and have $25 a month left over if I was lucky. Let's just say I was probably top 10 miserable human beings on earth during this time period. You see, Gary was the type of miserable douche who would just give me crap for the hell of it. Every single day, he would just do little stuff to deliberately annoy me and piss me off. No matter how hard I tried to be a model employee, he found great joy in just coming into work and taking his misery out on me. Adrian, lower your voice while talking to that caller. He'd scream while monitoring my calls from his desk. Then the next call, he may ask me to raise my voice even though I'm talking at the exact same frickin' volume level. So yes, his hobby in life was to simply annoy the hell out of me and eat bonbons. Now, that's just my guess based on the fact that his belly sagged damn near to his knees. But anyway, I needed a paycheck, so I put up with his BS every day because it's what I needed to do to survive. So fast forward about 6 months into my job tenure, and I'm now promoted to a team lead. Not a supervisor, but a notch below. And no, I wasn't promoted there by Mr. Potato Head. It came from the higher-ups who saw my work ethic and excellent stats and simply couldn't deny me the raise. If it was up to my boss, zero chance I would have ever gotten promoted. Zero. So at this point, with the extra $4 an hour raise, I was at least able to pay all my bills and have a little breathing room left over at the end of the month. Went from $25 to $300 in spare money, which for me made me feel rich in comparison to my old salary. So while Mr. Potato Head was still a pain in my ass, I was finally, how could I put it, content with my job. Borderline happy compared to 6 months prior. And then that's when it happened. The new hire that would change everything. His name was Corey Lima. That's middle name, not last. Corey was a rich preppy kid who thought he was God's gift to the frickin' world. He walked around in custom-made khakis, neatly pressed dress shirts with a 24-karat gold button pinned to it, and a sweater draped around his neck and a knot. Imagine the president of your school's honor society who had a free lifetime membership to his dad's country club and spent most of his free time on a perfectly green, exceptionally groomed golf course. Because that's exactly who he was. His parents, mother, a primary care physician, and father, the CEO of one of the largest investment banks in Australia, made him get a job at this call center. Not because he needed the money, but to teach him life lessons on working hard, since they had spoiled him too much up to this point. But when it comes to this guy, it seems he pretty much did anything besides work. So what's the significance of this guy besides being a spoiled, entitled little douchebag? Well, my boss, Mr. Potato Head, aka Gary, took a strong liking to this little brown noser. You see, while Corey Lima, that's middle name, not last, didn't have too many life skills, one thing he must have learned from his CEO father was the delicate art of sucking up. I mean, the guy practically invented it. Coming in with cupcakes for the team with a specially made large one for Mr. Potato Head, giving him a bottle of cologne for his birthday, cracking corny jokes all day, which Potato Head would eat up. I mean, it was literally nauseating. The dead giveaway that he was the ultimate suck-up was him always complimenting Potato Head's looks. When, while I don't normally judge guys, in actuality, he was easily one of the most hideous-looking creatures this world has ever seen. But none of my business, right? I just keep on doing my job while Corey keeps kissing butt and Mr. Potato Head treats me like crap as the team lead. Right? Not a problem. Well, at least that's what I thought. Now, fast forward a couple of weeks and Corey Lima, that's middle name, not last, has been here for a total of 1 month. And one day, while standing outside of Potato Head's office, printing out some papers, I overhear Corey in the office kissing up and telling our boss he thinks he should qualify for a team lead. So what do you think, old Gary boy? Well, we are only allowed to have one team lead at a time. And right now, well, what's his face is holding that position. But no, trust me, I wasn't the one who promoted him, said Mr. Potato Head. Oh, wow, that's too bad, Corey responded. Well, just give it some thought and who knows what the future holds. Sure thing, buddy, I'll see you on lunch, Potato Head yelled. So before Corey could open the door to leave, I scurried around the corner to the break room, heart beating fast in somewhat disbelief. But at the end of the day, I'd been in this position 4 months, at this job 10 months, and my stats spoke for themselves, so I knew I had nothing to worry about. Now, fast forward about 2 more weeks, and Mr. Potato Head is now giving me way more shit than usual. Way more. When I say a bug was practically up his ass 24/7, I really mean it. He was yelling a little louder at me, being a lot more impatient, and seemingly trying to find the smallest of things to give me a hard time about. One day, he came up with some lame problem that I left the file cabinet open and it was a safety hazard for employees and that I could get in big trouble for it. He just went out of his way to screw with me at this point. Fast forward another week. And it's finally the weekend and I can relax. Saturday, I just took it easy and played some video games. And Sunday, after laying on my couch for a few hours, I got up and got dressed and went to church. And that's when I received the text message that would alter my life forever. Hey Adrian, sorry to inform you, but due to your conduct lately, we have decided to go in another direction. I wish you luck in future endeavors. Sitting there, in the middle of church with the opera passionately singing their hearts out. I'm already not supposed to be on my phone, but I do check it in emergencies. So I messaged my boss right back. Gary, what exactly are you saying? And he responds with the two words I'll never forget. You're fired. And at that very moment, I dressed and went to church. And that's when I received the text message that would alter my life forever. Hey Adrian, sorry to inform you, but due to your conduct lately, we have decided to go in another direction. I wish you luck in future endeavors. Sitting there, in the middle of church with the opera passionately singing their hearts out. I'm already not supposed to be on my phone, but I do check it in emergencies. So I messaged my boss right back. Gary, what exactly are you saying? And he responds with the two words I'll never forget. You're fired. And at that very moment, my heart sunk so deep into my chest, I could feel it touching my stomach. It hit me so fast and so hard. I was so distraught, I literally forgot where I was. With my head currently spinning, racing 1,000 miles per hour, I lifted up my fist and hit the bench as hard as I possibly could. And among the 200 or so churchgoers in attendance, it was a collective gasp and embarrassment within me that I can never forget. After the chorus came to a screeching halt, I hopped up, fully red-faced, and ran towards the exit. Young man, young man! The pastor yelled. There's nothing to be embarrassed of. We all come to church as we are. Step here to the pulpit and let your frustrations be heard. I turned around slightly and made teary, pupiled eye contact, but then just kept running towards the exit. I then hop in my car and call my boss's phone several times, but he never does answer. Now, immediately racing through my head was all my bills, rent, food. Where the hell was I going to stay? How the hell was I going to live? I thought. I mean, I really just got replaced by a spoiled rich kid who had only worked there for 1 month. This was the most insane thing I'd ever gone through in my entire life. But I was determined to fight and not drown in my own misery. So my next course of action was to say, fuck Mr. Potato Head, I'm going to find me a new job. So I go home, hop on my laptop, and start searching for jobs non-stop at this point. And this is the typical response I got. Sorry, we don't have any spots available. Not hiring right now, try back in November. We'll let you know once something opens up. This is what I got from the first 50 or so jobs I'd sent my resume to. 2 weeks later, as I'm laid back, panicking, sulking on my couch, still without a job, I decided to finally go check my mailbox, which I hadn't done in over a week as I was just too busy and depressed job hunting to even think about it. Then, as I was putting on my slippers to go check, I was suddenly energized by a burst of hope and optimism. Hey, maybe one of the jobs I applied to sent me an acceptance letter in the mail. Let me hurry up and go check, I told myself. Now, outside, frantically sifting through the pile of mail, throwing away a dozen or so advertisements, I see one white envelope and my eyes get big as I rip it open. Inside, I'm hoping, praying that this is the job I've been waiting on. And now, as I open the letter and take out the folded sheet of paper, rather than a job acceptance letter, I'm now staring at my worst nightmare. Eviction scheduled for Monday, July 21st, 2014. I step back slowly, taking several deep breaths, almost hyperventilating. I'm holding onto the mailbox so not to pass out and hit my head on the concrete floor. I take a few minutes to gather myself and then start to slowly walk towards my apartment. And that's when it suddenly dawned on me. I really just slaved for this crap job for 6 months. Took shit from a boss with a permanent thumbtack in his ass, stressed out of my mind on a day-to-day basis. And all I have to show for it at the end of the day is the possibility of sleeping under a bridge in the next 10 days. This is the moment I knew I could never put my livelihood into another human being's hands ever again. And I made that my personal vow. As I hold on to the letter, still staring at it in my hand, in 0.5 seconds, my emotions suddenly turned from sad and distraught, feeling sorry for myself, to outright enraged and livid, as the true totality of the damage that Mr. Potato Head and Corey Lima wreaked on my life had finally started to set in. That's when I go home, hop on my laptop in a feverish attempt to save my life as I know it. How to make money online is the first thing I Googled, but came across nothing but a bunch of spammy rip-off sites just trying to get me to click all their ads. So that's when I step back and try to really think. How can I, as a single entity, not a company, not with a group of lazy friends, how can I create a large, constant amount of revenue where I could simply take care of myself and not be at the mercy of another miserable human being like Mr. Potato Head? How? So I started thinking about some of the highest paying professions in the world. Doctors, lawyers, hell, even scientists. I tried to think why they make so much money like they do. Coaching business where you get paid for simply giving people advice that's second nature to you. I will break this down for you thoroughly in Module 5. Or maybe you just want to sell products, start blogging, or something else. Whatever the case may be, I will go through all of the available options and let you custom fit the one that best suits you. I will take you step by step through the process of creating a powerful website using a method that's super easy with no technical skills required. You'll also learn how to get it out there so the world can see what you have to offer. Now, I want you to imagine going to a party with 100 people and everybody there has on white. Then one guy waltzes in with an all red suit and a top hat on. Who do you think is more likely to get noticed? That's why in Module 5.3, I'm going to show you how to stand out from the crowd with your product. Make yours the one that gets noticed by your customer base while your competition gets swept under the rug. Getting sales? Good. Satisfied? No, I don't want you to be. Once you do have the ball rolling and money coming in, I'm going to show you how to maximize your sales and take your profits higher and higher and higher. And don't worry, you're not being greedy. The rich simply call it capitalism. And I'm going to show you how to take full advantage of it. Having a killer product without being able to market it properly is literally like having the world's fastest car but can't even put a gallon of gas in it. You have something amazing right in front of you, but it's never going anywhere, ever. That's why I make it a special point to show you how to properly market your product and get it out for the world to consume. Those who are highly, highly interested in it and are ready to buy. Forget filling up your gas tank. You will have your own gas station, or hell, even an oil. Living like that and letting another man have so much power over me actually made me less of a man. It's just something I have to admit at this point if I'm being real with myself. And besides my boss being the world's biggest douchebag, going into work 5 days a week just to make enough money to live wasn't too fun in its own right. Just an outright dead-end job with no extra time or money for leisure, while all the CEO does is kick back on his luxury yacht sipping $5,000 bottles of champagne off of my blood, sweat, and tears. When you really think about it and soak it all in, that's the most depressing thing in the life. Being able to work from anywhere with an internet connection, you're no longer tied down to one spot and can roam freely, allowing you to kill two birds. Of course you do. And with all that being said, I do of course understand that in this crappy job economy, every financial decision you make should be a smart one. So I'm going to make this one a no-brainer that you don't even need to think twice about. If for any reason, and that's any reason at all, mechanics. Everybody has a skill that equals value to the world. And the key to leaving the rat race is you making money off of yours. Your value. Peace.